There is something almost theatrical about watching a bulldog discover a stick. The moment those short, powerful legs carry that wrinkled face toward a fallen branch, something shifts in their entire demeanor. Their eyes brighten, their body language transforms, and suddenly this otherwise slow-moving, couch-loving creature becomes completely consumed by a single wooden object. It is a behavior so consistent across bulldogs of all ages and backgrounds that veterinary researchers have spent considerable time trying to understand exactly what is happening beneath the surface. The answer, as modern science reveals, is far more layered and fascinating than most dog owners ever imagined. It connects ancient instinct, neurological reward systems, and the very specific physical and psychological makeup of the bulldog breed itself. To understand why bulldogs carry sticks with such devotion, you have to travel back several centuries. Bulldogs were originally bred for bull baiting, a practice that required them to grip onto large animals and hold on with extraordinary jaw strength and determination. When that practice was outlawed in England in 1835, the breed was redirected toward companionship, but the instincts were never erased. Modern veterinary behavioral science confirms that selective breeding over generations creates deeply embedded behavioral tendencies that persist long after the original purpose disappears. Carrying and gripping objects is a direct expression of that ancestral programming. The stick becomes a symbolic substitute for what the bulldog's genetics are still quietly demanding. Researchers at several veterinary behavioral institutes have noted that breeds with strong historical gripping behaviors consistently show higher rates of object-carrying tendencies compared to breeds developed for herding or scent work. The bulldog sits at the very top of that list. Beyond ancestry, there is a powerful neurological explanation happening in real time every time a bulldog picks up a stick. When a dog engages in a behavior that aligns with its breed-specific instincts, the brain releases dopamine, the same neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and reward in humans. Veterinary neuroscience research published over the last decade has demonstrated that this dopamine release is significantly stronger when the behavior matches the animal's genetic predisposition. For bulldogs, gripping and carrying an object triggers this reward pathway with remarkable intensity. This means the act of carrying a stick is not just a casual preference, it is genuinely pleasurable on a neurochemical level. The bulldog is not simply playing, it is experiencing a form of deep satisfaction that reinforces the behavior every single time it occurs. This neurological loop explains why bulldogs will return to stick carrying repeatedly, and why redirecting the behavior without understanding it can sometimes lead to frustration for both the dog and the owner. The bulldog's relationship with sticks is also deeply connected to its unique physical anatomy. Bulldogs have a pronounced underbite, a broad jaw structure, and an exceptionally wide mouth relative to their body size. Veterinary dental and anatomical studies have shown that dogs with broader jaw structures tend to exhibit stronger oral engagement behaviors, meaning they are more likely to use their mouths as primary tools for interacting with the world around them. For bulldogs specifically, the act of holding something in their mouth provides a form of physical comfort and sensory stimulation that other breeds may seek through different channels. The texture of a stick, its weight, and the slight resistance it provides when gripped all create a rich sensory experience that the bulldog's nervous system finds deeply satisfying. Some veterinary researchers have even drawn comparisons to the way human infants use oral stimulation as a primary method of exploring and processing their environment. Modern veterinary psychology has increasingly recognized that object carrying in bulldogs serves an important emotional regulation function. When bulldogs feel excited, anxious, or overstimulated, reaching for a stick or similar object provides an immediate outlet for that emotional energy. Studies examining cortisol levels in dogs during various behavioral activities have found that repetitive gripping and carrying behaviors are associated with measurable reductions in stress hormones. For a breed that is already prone to respiratory challenges and can become easily overheated, having a calming behavioral outlet is particularly significant. The stick essentially becomes a self-soothing tool. Veterinary behaviorists have noted that bulldogs who regularly engage in object carrying tend to display fewer destructive behaviors and show more stable emotional baselines overall. This insight has even influenced how some veterinary professionals approach behavioral therapy for anxious bulldogs, incorporating structured object-carrying activities into treatment plans. One dimension of bulldog stick obsession that surprises many owners is its social component. Veterinary ethologists, scientists who study animal behavior in natural contexts, have observed that bulldogs frequently use stick carrying as a form of communication and social engagement. When a bulldog trots toward a person or another dog with a stick proudly held in its mouth, it is often initiating an invitation to interact. This behavior mirrors what researchers call object-mediated social bonding, where the object serves as a bridge for connection rather than being the focus itself. The stick lowers the social stakes of an interaction, giving the bulldog a confident, purposeful reason to approach. This is particularly meaningful for a breed that can sometimes appear stoic or reserved. The stick transforms the bulldog into an enthusiastic social participant, and modern veterinary research suggests this function is just as important as any instinctual or neurological driver behind the behavior. Understanding the science behind why bulldogs carry sticks changes how owners can support their dog's well-being in meaningful ways. Rather than viewing the behavior as quirky or random, recognizing it as a deeply rooted, neurologically rewarding, emotionally regulating, and socially functional activity allows owners to engage with it thoughtfully. Providing safe alternatives to sticks, such as durable rubber toys designed for strong-jawed breeds, satisfies the same instinctual and neurological needs without the splinter risks that natural wood carries. Veterinary professionals increasingly recommend incorporating object-carrying play into daily routines for bulldogs as a form of enrichment that honors the breed's history while supporting its modern emotional and physical health. The bulldog carrying a stick is not just an adorable moment. It is an animal expressing its deepest nature in the most honest way it knows how.